Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, a series where we look at practical and sensible cars that you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2018 Toyota Auris, a 180 type Toyota Auris, and this is the 1.8 full hybrid version. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Toyota Auris, at least this generation, came out in late 2012, early 2013 in this country. Like the current generation Toyota Corolla, this one is actually built in Derbyshire, which is nice. At the launch, you could get a couple of different engines. You could get a 1.33 99 horsepower, or a 1.6 with about 130 horsepower. Those engines actually were supplemented later on by a 1.2 turbo with 116 horsepower, and then this 1.8 hybrid version, 134 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. So the Auris is actually a car that many people say they've forgotten about because they're not that memorable to drive. This one with actually the most power of all the sort of petrol engines, in this case a petrol electric, it feels sort of fine. I got overtaken by a van, their viewers, because I am, well, a sensible driver and not a crazy driver who likes to overtake with double white lines and you know, on a blind bend. So we turned off the main road now. We got it up to 60, which was good. Speed bumps is fine. The ride is quite soft in this car. One thing I'm aware of actually is I should put it in the B mode here, which will give me some regenerative braking, is the fact that the car really just proceeds with no fuss. Sometimes the engine will turn on, sometimes it will turn off, and I've heard that these get stupidly good fuel economy, like that you wouldn't expect. Really, primarily you see these sort of around town because the sports touring estate, touring sports it is, which makes no sense to me whatsoever the way it's called that, but yeah, touring sports. They're often driven by, well, in London, Uber drivers, before they also started buying MG5s. So yeah, a very pleasant car, but this one with 13,000 miles on the clock, and towards the end of production, this is 2018, it's up for something like £14,000 at Summit Garage in Dudley, which seems an awful lot of money for a car like this, but it is in very nice condition, and it is generally quite a reliable car. And also, you're going to be getting some very, very good fuel economy returns. So we're now parked up, viewers, outside Himley Hall, where we traditionally film in this area when we come to Summit Garage. I think it's all right. This facelift occurred, I think, about 2016 for this E180 generation of Auris. I think it looks fine. It's not the most exciting car or anything like that, but sort of person who'd buy one of these, even now, wouldn't be that fussed about it. But sort of think, well, you know, it's a Toyota, it had a 5-year warranty, and you know, you probably don't need to spend too much on the maintenance as long as you look after them. But this XL model, it does have some sort of nice bits on it. The alloy wheels look good, a little chrome strip at the bottom. The rear bumper there, I've got parking sensors, which is good, and a reversing camera, which does work. Hopefully the dealer plate doesn't fall out when I open them up for the boot viewers. Let's just do that. Ah, it did. Never mind. Let's put that over there. So the boot isn't as big as something like, I don't know, this would have been a Mark 7.5 Golf, wouldn't it? It's about 360 litres. then we can raise this up. I've actually got a space over spare in here, which is brilliant. Yeah, I'd probably recommend you for a car that has that fitted. Apologies for the wind noise. Yeah, it doesn't go in nearly as deep as I would expect really for a car like this, but most of them that you see these days, my point of view anyway, particularly the hybrid ones, they tend to be the touring sports version, which is the estate. So we've got a couple of hooks in the boot, we've got a lamp there, and a little socket as well. Don't know why it's vibrating, by the way, viewers. I have actually turned the radio unit off in this phone, so I don't know what's going on. So yeah, the only thing I've noticed with this car is the parcel chassis has been missing. I'm sure they've got that somewhere. But overall, yeah, it's in very, very nice condition, this car. Let's have a look at the back. It's a little bit dark because it's a black interior with privacy glass. I'm actually going to leave this open and see how we go. I'm surprised actually it's not more spacious in here. I would expect a car that a lot of people use, especially the estate version, as an Uber or something, would be a bit more room than this. But it's all right. Headroom is absolutely fine. Legroom is just about acceptable. I'm only 5'11" as well. I'm not very tall particularly, so I'm right up against there, which is surprising. Yeah, we've got a rear courtesy light. That's good. A couple of coat hooks and things on there. Also, if you were to fold the seats in this, and particularly probably the estate would be used to this, you can see that actually they just have the seat belts and runners like that, so you don't have to get them snagged. And we've got an armrest which sort of drops down in quite a weird sort of way. That's not very good, is it, viewers? Not the best. Oh well. 12-volt socket down here as well. You can't really see it. It's very dark. But a little shelf here that's. I mean, you could put the key in there, but why did you? Can you go to the front? So I'm not quite sure what you put in there. We've got some twin mat pockets though, and wow, it's quite good actually. Power shot rear windows, and a little place to put bottles. That's good. See if we can get out of here, which is all right. The doors don't open quite as wide as I expected. Never mind. There's also got hard touch door tops in the back, but to be honest, that's actually quite typical for sort of family cars of this age. A lot of them are like that on the rear doors. So this car's got keyless entry, full electric windows and all sorts of things, and power fold mirrors. Brilliant. And I think that's an auto park feature. That's something you're probably likely to not use though. We've also got other stuff in here. We've got automatic wipers, we've got automatic lights. Turn the car on with this button here, so there's a screaming child in the background. Power on. Good. Why is it beeping at me? It's probably got the door open. Hold on a second, viewers. Okay, my beeping has stopped and the screaming child is no longer an issue. That's good. One thing I don't like about this car, and it's obviously worse in more modern cars, is the fact that on this central touchscreen, what should be physical controls, things like this, and the volume controls, they are touch sensitive buttons, which isn't really my favourite, but you know, never mind. We'll just maybe turn it on. There we go, little Auris animation there. And you can see as well, we've got dual zone climate control in this XL specification, and this sort of weird sort of stitching here, although the rest of the dash didn't look like it deserves it. We've got this sort of bit here. We have got a soft touch dash top, which is good. Quality of this generally is not maybe as good as something like a Mark 7.5 Golf, perceived quality, but you just know that this car was built properly and it will last a really, really long time. Then we've got these different modes here. We've got EV mode, Eco mode and Power mode. Personally, a lot of the time you'll be wanting to use the EV mode to get the maximum economy in this. And here's the gear lever here, where you can put it into the B mode to give you a bit more regenerative braking than standard, because of course this is a hybrid. Aux in is here with USB, another 12-volt socket just there, two-stage heated seats. It's not bad in terms of the layout. It feels a little bit too low, this really, compared to some other cars, but it's fine. Hazard light switches here, but hopefully you won't be using that too much. Bit of piano black in here, and surprisingly we've got a normal handbrake. You don't need to necessarily always use it because it's an automatic, but it's good to know it's actually a proper one. And then we've got Some cup holders in there. Got an armrest, you can take this insert out. I don't think that's chilled by the air conditioning, which is a shame, but never mind. One thing I would like is it's like a sunroof or something, but it hasn't got one. It hasn't got a sunglasses holder either. This central console is really quite big. I don't know if it's the same as in the sort of normal, say, a manual one, but it's quite comfortable. Driver's seat is very, very comfortable. Of course, you know that's going to be very necessary if you spend your day sort of zooming around London, picking up fares. We've got cruise control here. Just have a look at some of these things that kind of clear that display. I'm gonna have to fill. Oh no, it's all right. I can use this. There we are. Right, let's go through here and see what we've got. I actually just in my very short journey, it's about 5 minutes, got 47 miles per gallon, which isn't that bad. If I'd gone further, I would have got a lot more than that. There's the average speed and things like that. Oh no, 49 miles per gallon at 1.4 miles. It's all I drove, 1.4 miles to get here, and it's annoying. It keeps going off. Normal dials. Really, you haven't got a rev counter because you've got a hybrid, and so you've got charge, eco, and power mode. If you obviously wanted more charge, we could use the B mode. Let's open up the glove box and see if my secret mission documents actually go in here. I'm hopeful they will. Yes. Yes. Ah, excellent viewers. That's making me feel better. I've also got, let's open up the store again. Very, very big door bids. It probably hold a nice kind of 1 litre bottle of water in there. Actually, maybe not as big as I thought. If it was narrow, if you had a bottle in there, you wouldn't have much else space. But there we go. The fuel flap is still down there, as it would have been like a 1980s car. Bonnet release is there. Yeah, it's all fine. I think we should just have a look very briefly at this central display. We're not going to sort of spend too long in here because a lot of you won't be sort of that bothered about it. I don't think we've got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in here, which is a bit of a shame. Cars in 2018 were starting to get that as standard. I don't think this has that, which is a shame. Let's just have a look at also the navigation. Let's see what that happens. Actually, no, we can just look at the map, can't we? It'll be quicker. Right, map. Just turn it. I should just turn that on with this button. What an idiot. Right, there we go. That's where we are. It's all right. It's not the fastest system I've used. It's you know, something that you're just going to put your phone in the mount up there and use Android Auto or CarPlay, aren't you? You're not going to bother with something like that. But it's there if you need it. I wonder what fast soft actually means on there. That's interesting. Anyway, I think that's quite enough about that. We better have a look under the bonnet. So here we go. 1.8 litre hybrid producing about 134 horsepower. I think the Priuses also used this engine around the same time. I've driven a 2018 Prius back in the distant past, about 5 years ago, and I think that was the same powertrain as this one. I could be wrong about that. That's why we've got two coolant reservoirs, and it looks a little bit scary, to be honest, with all this stuff in it. But they are generally quite reliable, these engines. I think they're one of the most firmly efficient engines in the entire world, this 1.8 hybrid. Yeah, not much else to say really. You hopefully won't be under here too much. It's a chain-driven engine, this. Most Toyota engines are. And that's all there is really to say. We've got front sensors on this XL trim as well, which is good, and more of this sort of chrome. Right, I think that's quite enough about that. Let's go out for another drive, shall we? One thing I'm very aware of in this car is actually just how high the dashboard is. It means that because the mirror's quite low and there's this sort of fixing just behind it for all the safety features of the car, that actually sometimes your view out the front's quite limited for some reason. So it feels a bit more claustrophobic than it otherwise would do. It feels more like you're in, I don't know, a Toyota Supra or something like that. But it's okay. Very, very, very easy to drive, particularly because we've got this car with the plug-in, it's not even standard hybrid powertrain in here, not plug-in hybrid. And in B mode, I've got a bit of regenerative braking as well. It says I'm doing currently 99 miles per gallon. Very comfortable over speed bumps, and the seats, yeah, it's good. I have had to get a little bit of help going over the speed bump. It didn't have this sort of one pedal driving feel of, like, I don't know, Nissan Leaf or something like that, but it's fine. 0 to 60 in this particular car takes about 10.9 seconds. We need to go into power mode for that as opposed to EV. Let's try to find a power mode to see what happens. Does this actually feel anyway fast or urgent? Oh, the engine's kicked in now, and the needle has swung into the power mode. Yeah, I can believe that. Oh, my fuel economy is ruined. Let's go back into the EV mode. EV mode currently not available. Great. That's no good. Let's go into the middle one, the eco mode. See if we can improve that economy figure by not driving like, you know, I don't know, an enthusiastic person, shall we say. Yeah, it feels nice and comfy. You know, you've got cruise control, you've actually got lane keeping assist in here, you've got a button on the steering wheel for it, which is great. If you just don't want any fuss in your motoring, if you just want to get on with it and get, you know, the best possible fuel economy for a car like this without having to use an engine we don't talk about on the channel, then it's perfect. You're not going to get a lot of sort of enthusiasm from anybody behind the wheel particularly, because this is, I think, one of the fastest versions you can get, and it's still not bonkers fast or anything, but that's fine. It's not aimed at a person like that. Like Toyota knew their market, and you know, these cars were sold elsewhere in the world, you know, under various Corolla names as well. And I think in New Zealand it was a Corolla. But yeah, it just does exactly what you need, and you know, there are better cars to drive than this. Say it alone, be a bit better, for example, but it wouldn't have this kind of level of, I don't know, just quality put into it. Not perceived quality, not so much like, you know, it's got the best materials ever, but it will actually last, and it's well proven. And I think, you know, if you just want ultimate peace of mind in a car like this, and you don't want to pay, you know, tons of money, unless you go for this extremely low mileage hybrid version, just stick with the 1.2 turbo, and it'd be a good option. I myself probably would go for something like a Mazda 3. I think those are just a little bit better to drive than this, and actually the fuel economy is not too bad. It's not like this, but yeah, I've nevertheless I've still quite enjoyed it. I think these are pretty decent. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to do this, and I'm actually in the charging bit now. Isn't that fantastic? Let's now look at some E180 Auris trim levels. So we have the Active, the Business Edition, the Design Bi-Tone, the Excel, like this one, the GB25. I imagine that was to celebrate 25 years of manufacturing in this country. The Icon, the Icon Tech, the Icon Plus, and the Sport. I don't think this car is really that sporty. Why they call it the Touring Sport to the estate and they have a sport trim, I don't know. This is the fastest one that they made, I think, the hybrid one, and it's still, well, it's not very fast. One good thing though I've noticed of looking at the figures is that you get an average of 78 miles per gallon apparently in this, which of course is the old NEDC figure, so that's quite generous, but you know, they're not that bad, I don't think. All of these cars actually got lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, auto high beam, and traffic sign recognition by the time of the facelift in about 2015. So yeah, that's obviously good. So viewers, should you consider a E180 Toyota Auris for your hard-earned budget to be one of £5,000? Well, yeah, you can get one of those for this sort of money. But I'd probably recommend spending a bit more. And you don't have to go for this hybrid powertrain, particularly in the Touring Sports version. That is actually quite overpriced. They are very expensive for what they are. I looked at one of these a couple of years ago for a client. You couldn't believe how much they were. This one, because it's such a low mileage car, it's in such good condition, it's a late one with all the specifications on it, £14,000 I think, is probably about right for one of these. And it will go on probably for many, many years of reliable service. Not the most exciting car I've ever driven, but that's not the point of these, is it? Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to Summit Garage for letting me have a go at this today. And thank you for all your support. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Really appreciate it. Thank you ever so much indeed. And we'll see you again soon for more reasonably priced motoring.